When she came home that evening, I noticed something unusual in her expression, a strange stillness, the kind that belongs to someone who's already prepared their defense before being questioned. We sat down for dinner, and without warning, she said something that made every muscle in my body freeze. "I was with my ex," she confessed lightly, "but we were careful, so it doesn't count." The fork slipped from my fingers, but I stayed silent. I just looked at her, pretending I hadn't really heard what she said. The air grew heavy with quiet. She expected me to shout, to argue, maybe even lash out, but I didn't. My silence unsettled her more than any burst of anger ever could. She kept eating, glancing at me occasionally as if waiting for me to finally react. But I didn't break. Inside, though, I was unraveling. That night, I lay beside her, listening to her steady breathing as though nothing had happened. Her words echoed in my mind again and again, "We were careful, so it doesn't count." Was that how little our marriage meant to her? Did loyalty only matter when it came without risk? Beneath the blanket, I clenched my fists, but outwardly, I stayed still. The next morning, I acted as if everything was normal. I made her tea, kissed her forehead before she left for work, and smiled like a man at peace. But behind that smile, I was already planning. If she believed her betrayal could be dismissed with excuses, I would show her what silence could create: evidence, truth, and consequence. Over the following weeks, I began to watch closely. She had no idea that I could see her cloud files, her messages, her travel records. Piece by piece, the truth came together. It wasn't a one-time mistake. She had been meeting him repeatedly, convincing herself it didn't count. My quiet became my greatest strength. It gave me the space to uncover everything. One evening, I stood just outside the kitchen as she laughed softly on the phone. "He doesn't suspect a thing," she whispered. My chest tightened, but I didn't move. Her words cut into me like glass. Later that night, when she came to bed, I took her hand. She smiled, unaware that I already knew it all. The more I stayed silent, the bolder she became. She stopped hiding, mistaking my calm for acceptance. Meanwhile, I was collecting every fragment: photos, messages, receipts, all carefully preserved. She thought her secret was invisible, not realizing I was building a story she would never be able to deny. One Sunday, we visited her parents. They greeted us warmly, praising how strong our marriage seemed. I almost laughed at the irony. She squeezed my hand, playing the role of the devoted wife perfectly. I let her, because soon, the truth would speak for itself. Weeks later, I gathered her family, mine, and a few close friends at our home. I told them I had something to show. She looked at me with curiosity, expecting a pleasant surprise. Then, I played everything: the chats, the photos, the excuses. The room fell silent. The same silence I had carried for weeks. Her face drained of color. Her lips trembled as she tried to defend herself. "It's not what it looks like," she stuttered. "We were careful, so it didn't count." Her own words echoed through the room, stripped of their power, hollow and meaningless now. No one stepped in to save her. No one believed her. I looked at her one final time, the woman who once vowed loyalty to me. "You thought my silence meant forgiveness," I said. "It meant I was watching. And now everyone sees the truth." She broke down, covering her face, but my heart felt nothing. The days that followed were strangely calm. People called, some shocked, some sympathetic, but I needed neither pity nor comfort. I had already mourned during those long nights of silence. Now I was free of her betrayal. She moved out quietly, without arguments or scenes, only shame. In those weeks, I learned something powerful. silence isn't always weakness. Sometimes it's the sharpest blade, cutting deeper than rage ever could. She thought her betrayal didn't count, but in the end, it counted more than anything, because it cost her everything. And me? I finally understood that peace isn't found in clinging to what's broken. It comes from walking away without a word.